is up, my groovies? I am back again with another video. I know. Shocking. And I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute. Why does your face look a little weirder than last time? Or maybe more handsome, depending on, who you are. And, being a Frankenstein-y creature brought back from the dead and whatnot, your face isn't always the greatest. So we're rocking with this right now. Maybe I'll sew some skin back on later. Who knows? But, if you like this instead, let me know. Also, we're switching up the view. I was on the drums last time. Now I'm in this corner. I don't know if it looks better or not. Just let me know. Or don't. I don't really care. I'm going to do my own thing. But, if you guys voice your opinion, I have a better idea of how to make my videos a little better. And today, we got a special movie. That's right, a special one. Now, what is a special movie? Well, particularly for this movie, I have never seen it before. And it's been around since the 80s. And I think I maybe seen like a smidget of a clip here and there way back when. But I randomly came across it on YouTube. And I decided, well, if it's free, it is for me. Am I right or am I wrong? And this movie is called The Stuff. Now, for those of you like me that have not seen this movie, you're probably thinking, what is this movie about? What is The Stuff about? And I'll tell you. So the story starts like this. We got a couple of miners going out mining in a cave somewhere, when one of them ends up seeing this weird substance on the floor, right? Naturally, he dips his finger in it, takes a look, and he tastes it. Something we would all have done ourselves, am I right? You see a weird gooey substance on the floor, you'd lick it up, right? Of course not. After taking a taste, he thinks, man, this stuff is good. His buddy comes around the corner, he lets him have a lick. He thinks it's good. So boom! From there on out, the stuff is everywhere. And I mean it is everywhere, amigo. It is on billboards. It is on commercials. It is every corner store. Ice cream stands? Well, they got the stuff stands. It kind of looks like fluff, if you ever seen that, kind of like marshmallowy in a way. It is, I assume, a dessert treat. It's low in calories, and it tastes good. So, I mean, what more can you ask for? One of the characters that we're introduced to, his name is Jason. He's just a young little lad, and he's at home chilling. Wakes up in the middle of the night. We've all been there. You're hungry. You go looking in the refrigerator or the cabinets. But when he goes through the refrigerator, he notices that the stuff has been tipped over and it is moving in his refrigerator. And he's like, whoa, that is not supposed to do that. But before he could do anything, his dad startles him because, again, it's the middle of the night. He ends up getting caught. He's like, yo, Dad, look, it's moving. But when he looks over, the stuff is back in its canister. So we move to the next day. He's going downstairs for some breakfast. They're all mowing down on the stuff. They offer him some, but he does not want it because he's seen that move and he ain't with it. He ends up finding himself at a grocery store. And like I said, this stuff, it is everywhere. It's kind of like when you go to a store and there's like sodas all stacked up on each other. Instead, it's the stuff. You go to the aisle, it's the stuff. The stuff is here, the stuff is there. This stuff is everywhere. You just can't take it, man. He has a moment and he's like, I gotta do something. So he starts smacking it, starts throwing it off the shelves, hitting with broomsticks, the whole nine. And he does as much as he can for a little kid. And then we're introduced to another character, another one of our main characters, David Mo Rutherford. And they call him Mo because once he gets a little bit of that money, he wants a Mo. He gets hired by a few guys to figure out what this stuff is made out of because, I mean, what is it made out of, right? Unfortunately for him, though, finding out what the stuff is made out of is not going to be an easy task. Come to find out, all the founding fathers of the stuff, the miners from the beginning, are either dead or in some small, remote location in Georgia somewhere. And that's when we get introduced to our last of the main three characters, which is Nicole. And who is Nicole? She's not a spy. She's not just some 12-year-old kid. But instead, she's more or less works for the advertising side of the stuff. She's the one making the commercials and the advertisements everywhere. We have our boy, David Mo, working a spy charm on her to figure out what he can about this stuff. Any little information is good enough information. But she doesn't know a thing about it. All she knows is to get the runway models to look good with the stuff. And she's pretty good at it, considering it's everywhere. And throughout the story, they end up getting like this kind of relationship going between the two. And while David's out trying to get more information of what he can about the who's and the what's about the stuff, he ends up hearing about Jason's little incident at the grocery store. He's back home, you know, it's in the middle of the night, dinner time, and what are they having for dinner? Jason and his little family? Well, they're having some of that stuff, boy. Because what do they say? Enough isn't enough with the stuff. His family's sitting there mowing down their cartons of the stuff, and they're like, hey, Jason, have some. But like I said before, he's seen it move, and he ain't a fan of it. So he gets grounded, and his father gives him a container, and he's like, don't come back out of that room until you finish every last bite. So he heads back upstairs, but he has an idea. He takes the current stuff, flushes it down the toilet, and replaces it with shaving cream. He ends up heading back downstairs, enjoying his shaving cream, I guess, which I don't know how he was able to just eat it, because that stuff is nasty. Unfortunately, that quick one did not go over well. His father figures out that it's shaving cream. Luckily for Jason, he makes a run for it before they could catch him in the act. And that's when he meets David, who saves him from his family with seconds to spare. He tells the kid, get in the car, because I seen that stuff move too. And that's just the basic premise of the movie. It's a B-list movie from the 80s, and it is, I think, well, actually, it's become one of my favorite movies. It's kind of goofy, it's pretty interesting. The stuff is a funny idea. Now let's go over the good, the bad, and the ugly. Up first, we always got to go with the good, because always good in the hood. Now, the good is pretty good. I mean, this movie is goofy, it's entertaining, and it's different. I mean, we always got the slashers, we got monsters, we got things from outer space, we got this, we got that, but now we got a food item now, which is pretty original if you ask me. I mean, what other movie is there a food item that's out killing people? I don't know. If you do, let me know. It does a pretty good job at showing consumerism, is that the word? Or FOMO. I don't know if there's really FOMO, fear of missing out, if you don't know. But it's kind of like how Labubus were. Like, once they came out, everybody just had to get a Labubu, right? It's the same way with this stuff. It just shows that, like, everybody has to be part of the hype train. And not all the time is that hype train a good hype train. Because as much as you're eating the stuff is eating you. And what it basically does is it kind of just eats your insides, and it kind of turns you into like a brainless zombie to the point of where all you want to do is just eat the stuff and get other people to eat the stuff. Pretty cool idea. Let's talk about the bad now. Ooh, the bad. There's not too much bad. I mean, the movie is a little bit outdated. It's from the 80s. The dialogue at times could be a little bit weird and choppy. That's why I kind of give it a little slack on it. It is a bit of an older movie, but it's not like it's unwatchable. There's just a few scenes here and there that it's like weird, if that makes any sense. And other than that, I feel like they could have shown more of the stuff being alive. They do show it being alive in a couple scenes here and there, but I feel like showing it more being a monster, because technically that's what it is. It's just a monster that you eat. I mean, it can stay faceless and whatever, but just making it seem like more of a presence, you know what I'm saying? Versus like an expired candy bar somewhere. Not that that's all horrible of how they did it. Obviously, like I said, the movie is a little bit outdated and whatnot. So that's why when it comes to like the bad of this movie, it's not really too much that I could say about it. However, the ugly. I know, we always gotta get to the ugly. And for me, the ugly is the kills in this movie. I want to say all but one or two are pretty mid, man. Damn! Like, we got the stuff jumping on people's face, kind of. We got it just, like, coming out of people, and that's what kind of kills them. Just them puking it out more, or it leaving their body, rather. And it kind of just leaves them hollowed out, which is pretty gnarly as an idea, but I could have been executed in a bit of a better manner. Make a show a little more gnarly. Or, like, when it attacks people, a little more of the stuff, you know what I'm saying? A little more something there. Little spoiler right here for one of the characters that ends up dying. Chocolate Chip Charlie, right? He comes back towards the end of the movie, and it turns out that he is the stuff, or he eating the stuff, or the stuff is inside of him, however you want to word it. And when it reveals itself to be inside of him, it's like almost like the Thing, kind of, in a way. That's what it reminded me of when it showed itself, which, like I said, with these kills, it could have showed more like that. More of them would have been like when Charlie got ripped open. This movie would have been a whole lot more gnarlier. I mean, it's already a pretty gnarly movie, I think. But it could have been more, you know what I'm saying? But other than that one, like, it kind of like cuts away, and it's kind of like a little stale when it comes to like the kills. I don't even know if you want to, I guess they are kills because the people are dead. but they could have did a little more with it, you know what I'm saying? But with all that being said, this movie is pretty gnarly. It is pretty fun to watch. Like I said, I've never seen it until recently, and it has become one of my favorite movies to watch. I recommend that you go watch this. What I rated from a scale 1 to 5, I want to rate this one about a 3.5. You know what I'm saying? It's a fun idea. If you like Killer Clowns from Outer Space or Goosebumps or anything like that, I would say watch this movie if you haven't. Other than that, that is my video for today. If you like it, thank you. If you don't like it, no thank you. Stay tuned for next time, and as always, stay groovy.